On Monday, the Senate Judiciary Committee is set to vote on the nomination of Neill Gorsuch. That vote, expected to advance along party lines, it will then head to the Senate floor, where a number of Democrats are looking to put up a fight. Right now, 36 of them have said they will vote no on Gorsuch and support a filibuster. The latest lawmaker to add to her name to that list, Senator Claire McCaskill, a moderate Democrat from Missouri. If Democrats can secure 5 more votes, they could successfully filibuster that nomination. However, their challenge will likely be countered by Republicans who have threatened to use the nuclear option. So will they? That is the big question. Here with me now, Mike Morey, former communications director for Senator Chuck Schumer, and Susan Del Percio, a Republican strategist. Welcome to you both.
Thanks.
Great to be here.
Susan, I'm going to start with you. So President Trump won Senator McCaskill's home state by double digits back in November. Since she's up for re-election in 2015, Republicans, they had hoped she would vote, 2018, excuse me, they had hoped she would vote in favor of Gorsuch. What does her no mean for Republicans here?
Well, it means that she's more concerned about her left flank in a potential primary than she is about probably winning her state in re-election. Right now, that's the most immediate concern. I really hope that the Democrats do not filibuster. While it looks like they may, the 60-roll vote is very important, and just when you have a nominee that is eminently qualified. You may not like it, but the fact is that Donald Trump won. And when a president puts up a qualified candidate for the Supreme Court, they really are entitled. When you know that he's going to be endorsed one way or the other, it's a shame that they go that route. And just for full disclosure, I believe that Justice Garland should have had a vote on this for his place on the Supreme Court.
Why fight this fight? This is a Scalia seat. This is a conservative seat.
Sure.
What about when there's a liberal seat?
Sure.
That's up for grabs.
Well, let's remember the 60-vote threshold is designed and exists for Supreme Court justices so that we can get consensus, at least get towards consensus on both the left and the right. The fact is 60 votes is there because you shouldn't have a nominee who is unable to actually secure support from anyone who is right of center. You should be able to find someone on the other side of the aisle who can say, you know what, this justice is someone that we could see on the court. And what Gorsuch has shown us is that unlike the Trump rhetoric during the campaign around sort of looking out for the forgotten man, the working man, the people who Washington hasn't been paying attention to, this is a judge whose record has shown that when it comes to corporate interests versus the little guy, he always sides with the corporate interests. So it doesn't make a lot of sense, both from Trump's sort of message about who he's looking out for, and as well as from the ability to actually generate some sort of consensus in the Senate. Look, what winds up happening in cases like this, as has historically, is if you can't get the 60 votes, then you don't change the rules, you change the nominee. Find a judge, nominate a judge who can get Democratic support.
That would be great if we lived in that world in that time. Not too long ago, actually, when we saw President Obama put up his Supreme Court justice, which many Republicans had big problems with, but they understood it's the president's choice. We don't live in that world right now. The fact is that this country is so divided, politics are so isolated, where it's going to be so hard to get to a 60 count vote on any issue, and that this, if any, should be the one when you have a qualified person. Just because you don't like his politics doesn't mean that his qualifications aren't there. And there's been no one to say that Judge Gorsuch does not have the qualifications and shouldn't be a member of the Supreme Court.
But you say change the nominee. But what about the argument out there? You know, we're hearing from Democrats, Heidi Heitkamp, Joe Manchin, for instance. They're all saying, look, you change the nominee, we might get a more conservative nominee behind Gorsuch.
Well, if that's the case, then you're not going to get 60 votes again. The bottom line is you've got to build consensus in the Senate. I mean, at the end of the day, Gorsuch has had committee votes, he's had hearings, he got to testify. That never happened with Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland never got so much as an opportunity to sit before a bunch of senators in front of the American public. Now, he was a consensus candidate. He was someone that was chosen largely because of his record in securing Republican votes for his lower court appointments. So the notion that sort of Democrats, by holding a standard, the 60-vote standard, which is designed to build consensus, he's had his hearing, he's going to have a cloture vote. And a cloture vote is designed in order to determine whether there is broad-based support for this nominee. The Democrats have allowed this guy to come 10 times further than Merrick Garland had ever been able to come. And so if you cannot get those 60 votes, then find a nominee who can build consensus.
Go ahead, Susan.
Well, no Republican. Donald Trump is never going to put a justice up that will get consensus from the left. That will be nearly impossible. There's no question about that. And while, yes, Judge Garland should have had certainly at least very much a hearing, the Democrats shouldn't make the same mistakes that the Republicans did. Now, what concerns me is that The Republicans, before this last go-around where we now have all the seats, we have the Senate, we have the House, we have the President, were in fact the party of no. And that the Democrats are trying to follow that lead. It wasn't good government. It's still not good government.
I just quickly want this reaction from both of you. Is this about the seat, or is this about Merrick Garland, you think?
Oh, I think that this is it's more about left challenges on the left for many senators.
I think it's about both. I think it's about both.
All right, thank you to you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.